Good morning. Velma Hagar here. And we're going to talk about prayer today. And I'm convinced that when we get to heaven, we are going to kick ourselves when we realize how much power we had in prayer and didn't use it. And there's a couple of misconceptions about prayer that I want to clear up. Number one, prayer is not just for emergencies. Like you see the fire hydrant that says, break the glass in case of emergency. No, prayer isn't that. Prayer is not a tug-of-war between you and God to try to convince him that you should have what he thinks you shouldn't have. Prayer should be something that is between you and God. It should be a communication, just like you and I would communicate. I always say, people say you shouldn't do it flippantly. I do pray flippantly a lot, but God knows my heart. I'll go buy something and bless him, Lord, in the name of Jesus, and keep moving. Not because I'm flippant, but because it's just the way I do things, and God knows my heart. I mean it. I am in it. What God tells us to be in an attitude of prayer. And so to me, that is an attitude of prayer. If you hear an ambulance go by, bind any theft of life. Thank you for the first responders, Lord. Protect them, watch over them. I never let an ambulance go by without praying. I've learned to pray in every situation. And I don't do it on my knees. I think that's wonderful if you do. But, life is so busy. I just pray it as I go. As I go, I'm praying. Prayer is not just a personal thing between you and God. People say, well, I don't think you should pray. That's not true. There's nothing more comforting than when you have something wrong than to have a friend come alongside of you and pray for you. This morning, Lila, my friend, prayed for me on the phone. I've been having some issues. I haven't felt up to par. Every little thing. God says to pray in all things, to pray. So I want to encourage you today that if you pray the word, you say, how do I pray? If you pray the word, remember there are 6,000 promises in the Bible. So if you're praying for something that one of those promises cover, remind God. He says, bring me in remembrance of my word. I think that's one we don't hear enough. God tells us, remind me of what I say. Now, I've spoken on this before, but it's so important I just felt compelled to do it again. Remind him. Pray his promise. For instance, you say, Father, heal my friend. Your word says that you come to heal. That by the stripes of Jesus we're healed. Remind him of all the things that he said. That's praying the word. When you pray the word, God is in agreement with you. You don't have to worry about a tug-of-war between you and he. It will automatically be what he wants because he already said that is a promise to you as a servant of God. This is why it's so important to learn those promises, you guys. 6,000 of them. How many of them do you know? Do you even know what God left for you? Because if you don't, you need to get in that word and find out. The Bible is still the most purchased book in the world, but only 20% of the people have actually read it, and honestly, I dispute that figure. I don't hardly know anybody who's read it from beginning to end. And if they have, they skimmed through it, they didn't study it, so they really don't know it. It takes a long, long time. It takes a lifetime to learn that word. And the more you learn, the stronger you get. And your prayer is just as valuable to God as mine or any man of God, or any spiritual person. God hears the little prayer just like he hears the big eloquent prayer. I've said it before. The help me prayer is very powerful. Help me! It works. 4 minutes on this subject. All right, you guys, until next time, this is Velma Hagar bidding you a blessed day and pray